All right, good morning. We are now in the Eileen era. So she just released. It's just shortly after reset here. Basically what we're going to do here as a free-to-play, I'm going to look at this. It's going to be my first look. I haven't really gone over her skills or anything like that. So I'm going to look at her stuff, see what I think there, see what I think I might use, and kind of go from there. After that, we'll probably try and max her out. We'll do our pulls, try and max her out, and kind of go from there. So at the end of this, you can watch my pulls. I'm going to be pulling for both her and her mech. I'm not 100% sure how many copies I want to go for here. There's some stuff that I'm not going to get into in this video on how I'm gonna potentially pull, but I want to get at least a copy of her mech, a copy of her, obviously. And then kind of go from there. I'm going to do a separate video on Hunter's Freedom. As you can see right here, this is an event that's coming with her. From what I saw, there's going to be an ace pledge for tacticians in there. We'll talk about that as well. But yeah, we're going to start just by looking at her kit. So I'm just going to go, I guess we could just go to the banner and have it there. Not you. Not you. Start with her. So yeah, I have been saving up for her, both in terms of currency to do pulls, as well as materials to max out her mech and max out her as a pilot, and kind of get her caught up to the rest of my team. Everything I've seen from her, which I haven't seen a ton, but everything I've seen from her kit just is going to work really well with what I need on my team, which is going to be an AoE softener, basically somebody to weaken enemies so that my Sylvie, when she's not missing her 90% shots, can have an easier time picking off those weakened targets, right? So yeah, we're gonna look into her kit here and just kind of see what she's got going on. All right, so we'll start off with her passive here. Now keep in mind, this is all, she's at level 60 here, so don't worry too much about stats and stuff like that, but so this is obviously none of my own stats right now. So starting off with her talent, unceasing thunderfire. When attacking with a rocket launcher, if 3 or more targets are hit, restore 1 AP after combat, can trigger 1 time per turn. Rocket launcher weight minus 130. Now again, keep in mind, this is looking at her at a maxed out version, and I'm pretty sure it's, I think it's right here. Yeah. Her third copy. So her plus 3 duplicates is the rocket launcher weight minus 130. Now I don't know her weights yet on her mech, in terms of what she can carry, but obviously there's different rocket launchers, right? Same with other weapons. There's usually a light version and a heavy version. The heavy version weighs more, obviously, but has better stats usually. So this potentially allows her to use the heavier rockets, and possibly 2. But this is similar to Cicero. If you've used Cicero, I was using him as my Eileen Light, my wish.com Eileen leading up to her. But if he hit 3 or more targets, he'd restore 1 AP, which is always nice, especially with reattack. If you got, like, let's say, I don't know, 6 AP, the attack costs you, or you got 5 AP, attack costs you 3, you use 3, you get 1 back, you can use another rocket attack. So getting AP back is always nice. But again, keep in mind this enhanced part here, the rocket launcher weight, that is from having 3 copies of her. So now we are going to jump into her skills here. So her initial thing, when a tactical weapon runs out of ammo, triggers auto reload, process takes 3 turns. That's pretty sure that's the same for all tacticians. When you use all your ammo, you start reloading. Moving on, strategic redundancy, a passive. At the end of the action, if no damage was dealt this turn, restores 1 AP. Probably not going to use that, especially because I'm going to be maxing her out pretty much right away. you want to be doing damage, you want to be active. So ideally you're trying to be attacking every turn. So I don't think we're going to be using that at any point. We'll come back to the neuron checkpoint, whatever you want to call it, the neural chip stuff after, because that's not really fully relevant yet. Fullness, 1 cost AP, 3 turn cooldown. Fully reloads a rocket launcher's ammo and gains crit rate up for 1 turn. Can continue with the action, continue action with remaining movement. I don't know if I'm really trying to crit with her. We're just trying to use her as a softening tool to weaken as many units as possible for Sylvie to kind of follow up on. I don't know if I really care about the 15% crit. We're not trying to do massive damage. We're just trying to weaken everything. Moving on to Graphite Warhead. Now, I believe this is the same attack that Cicero has. Uses 4 AP. Uses a rocket launcher to attack all targets within a 3x3 tile area, dealing 0.25 times AoE damage after combat. Inflicts short circuit on target's hit. Can trigger up to 1 time per turn. So yeah, pretty much the same thing. I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same as Cicero's ability. I don't know if we'll use that, but we're gonna come to her more expensive abilities in a little bit here. This might be fine to use. Fill the Gap passive. At the start of your turn, auto loads 1 ammo into the non-exhausted rocket launcher magazine with the lowest ammo count. Non-exhausted. I don't know if that means like it's not on cooldown, you know? So going back to her initial thing here, the right here, when a tactical weapon runs out of ammo, triggers auto load, and then it's on the cooldown while it auto loads. I don't know if that's what this means, non-exhausted. So if it's auto loading already, you're not gonna get this, is what I'm thinking. But this is pretty nice if you are managing your ammo well, and especially if you're running 2 rockets, right? You fire a rocket from one, fire a rocket from the other, it'll auto load the rocket back in the other one. Yeah, so that's kind of nice. Kind of nice to have some extra loading there and just keep your rockets on the go. Everywhere, 6 AP. Now here's her big one. Now here's what I've seen talking about is the 5x5 tile area. So obviously Graphite back here is a 3x3. 5x5 is much bigger. I actually got to preview this a little bit in Border Conflict with my Cicero. I found a rocket launcher that had the passive on it that extended its AoE and made it a 5x5. It's a pretty big area. So simultaneously uses 2 rockets to attack all targets within the selected 5x5, dealing 0.175 times AoE damage 2 times. So yeah, just a big ass area. A big ass area. This is what I've seen the most. Yeah, hitting big areas. Again, we don't really care too much about the damage. We're not trying to do massive damage. I'm not trying to do massive damage. We're just trying to soften everything. So not too bad. Very expensive though at 6 AP. So we'll see how that all plays out. Yeah, here. Bestowal. When executing an AoE attack with a rocket launcher, depending on the type of ST hit, inflicts the following effects after combat: dodge rate down, damage up taken, or damage taken up, or armor down 1, lasting for 2 turns. Can't even words, still early. Okay, that's pretty nice. Now, how are we supposed to know? When executing an AoE attack with a rocket launcher, depending on the type, inflicts the following. I'm going to just assume, typically when you think about mechs, it's light, medium, heavy, right? In that order. And it would make the most sense, I suppose. Hitting a light, you give them dodge rate down. They're usually a little more evasive. You hit a medium, damage taken up. Makes sense. And then heavies, armor down, minus 35% armor. That's pretty nice. Makes sense on heavies, right? Because they're usually a little bit more armored. So that's what I'm assuming. Lasting for 2 turns. That's really nice. I really like this. Like, again, making lights easier to hit, making mediums just take more damage, and then making heavies not as tanky. And it lasts for 2 turns. There's so many buffs in this game that it's like 1 turn. And unless you do it at the very start of your turns, for example, Emily's Metal Storm, armor down, is it 1? It might be 1s. It might be minus 35. You armor down, you have to use her at the start of your turn, essentially, for the rest of your teammates to take advantage of it. Obviously, it lasts through the enemy turn too, so you kind of get the retaliation benefit from it. But so many debuffs are only 1 turn, and you really don't get a ton of use out of it. So lasting for 2 turns, and the fact that you can hit in big areas and do all of these to all the different mechs within that within that AoE, this is really good. I think this is one for sure I will have equipped. Moving right along, rocket launcher, I can't words. Rocket launcher damage plus 10%. It's always nice. When executing an AoE attack with the first round of ammo in the rocket launcher magazine, applies burning terrain. So this is how we get burning terrain. Fixed damage of 12% of max HP to all parts of the enemy on this tile, lasting for 2 turns. Damn, to all parts. That'll be really nice for those Titan bosses and stuff as well, I feel. You just throw that, because they're immobile, right? You just throw that down underneath them. Again, 2 turns. Really, really nice. So it's the first round of ammo in the rocket launcher. So going back, where was it? Is it this? Yeah, so at the start of your turn, auto loads 1 ammo into the non-exhausted rocket launcher magazine with the lowest ammo count. So let's say you're rocking 2 rockets, right? Let's say on your turn, let's say you're doing the 6 AP thing, right? Each rocket fires 1, right? You're going to apply the fire. I don't know if it stacks, because it says the first, where is it? An AoE attack with the first round of ammo in the rocket launcher magazine. Now you're firing 2. I don't know if this stacks. Probably not. But you could even just do 1. You fire 1 rocket. Nah, fire 2. Fire 2 rockets. Fire 2 rockets. Next turn, let's say there's only 2 rounds in each rocket, right? You fire both rounds. The next turn, you reload it again, and now you can get this burning terrain effect again because you've reloaded that rocket. And you can just kind of spread that burning terrain around. So this seems really nice as well. And again, this gives you burning terrain, which is what everybody wants. So yeah, I mean, this is a no-brainer. Now keep in mind, this is quite a bit later game. This is, I think I'm level 55-ish. My cap is 55 right now, and I still don't have this available because this is going to be the next tier of upgrades from the elite battles. So I don't even have access to this right now. So keep that in mind. Eileen is not going to be at her full strength right out of the gate. So yeah, going by this, 100% we want this. This is probably priority number 1. Once we have it available, you grab that. And then this is really expensive. I have to see how realistic this is going to be, right? I can't see what she starts at here, but it's most likely not 6. With her upgrades here, you get initial AP +1 with 1 copy, well, a second duplicate or 1 duplicate of her. So you need 2 copies of her total. And then you're not going to get another one till down here. I forget what again, I can't see until I pull her myself. I can't see what her baseline is. But yeah, I would 100% take Inferno once I get it, and then depending here, you maybe take this, or maybe you just take Graphite, or maybe you just run the normal rocket attacks, right? Because once you have this, as long as you're just doing an AoE attack, which rockets just do by default, you're getting that burning terrain. And then I would 100% run this. This bestowal looks really good. Any kind of debuffs, especially ones that last more than one turn, I think are really nice. This is pretty nice too. The auto load, reload 1 ammo into your lowest ammo count rocket is always nice. Again, I don't think I care about the crit rate. I don't really care about doing no damage. I'm not trying to do no damage. So yeah, I mean, I would probably rock this bestowal and maybe the auto load, and then depending on AP costs, either Graphite or the everywhere. I think Short Circuit and Burning Terrain would stack. They should stack, I feel. So 7% of max HP here and 12% here is pretty nice. So 19% total every tick is kind of crazy. I'm really curious to see how that's going to work against bosses and stuff. Now let's move on to this stuff here. Tactical weapon mag capacity is nice. AP regen, initial AP. So there are going to be ways to get initial AP. You can increase your AP cap as well. Those should be pretty easy to get. Now these are usually the big ones. These are the big ones, and these are where you're going to be spending. You're probably going to be spending your superconductors. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do it yet, but with how significant I've heard she is, probably a good idea to try and get your CP cap up on these. But let's have a little look here. Indiscriminate. After the first attack with a tactical weapon each turn, re-attack can trigger with a final damage minus 3%, can trigger 1 time per turn, unable to move before attacking. So that's similar to Naomi, stuff like that. So it's fine. Re-attacking's okay. I don't know how necessary it's going to be with her, but AP cap +1 is nice. It's going to help you if you really want to use that 6 AP move. That's going to help get your cap up so you can it's the initial ones you really need though, which come from dupes. So that's going to be tough. I don't know if it's going to make sense to wait a turn, you know, like have her not do anything turn 1 and then do the 5x5. There are times where I've wanted a 5x5 where the 3x3 just wasn't cutting it with Cicero. But I feel like she offers a lot more with that burning terrain. Sometimes if you're in like a little 2x2 gap, holding the gap so the enemy team can't get through, and you drop just a 3x3 there, you're gonna do pretty well. So I don't know how necessary that 6 cost 5x5 area one is going to be, but we'll see. When auto load is complete, restore 1 AP. It's kind of nice. That's just her passive, where when she runs out, she takes, what is it, 3 turns to auto load. More AP gain is always nice. When attacking with a tactical weapon for the first time each turn, for every 1 AP cost, damage +4% up to 20%. Okay, so again, if you're using higher cost abilities, like let's say that 6 AP one, having more damage is always nice. But that's only up to 5 AP, right? The 20%. So if that 6th AP, you're not really getting the damage, but still plus 20% damage on that for a big 5x5 area is pretty nice. Triggering re-attack allows the unit to continue moving. So the re-attack here after attacking, you can now move. Tactical weapons usually have pretty decent range. You're usually in a spot with them and you're happy in that spot to just keep launching attacks. You don't really need to move too much, but triggering re-attack no longer reduces final damage. That's okay too, the minus 30% here. Again, I don't know how much you're going to be re-attacking, especially with how expensive some of her abilities are. So I'm not like super impressed with this one so far. Yeah, not super impressed so far. Let's check out the Gamma 2 here. Private security. When both shoulders are equipped with rocket launchers, rocket damage plus 10%. Okay, so you an extra just 10% damage for having 2 rockets is pretty nice. More AP cap. When destroying a target, additionally restores 1 AP after combat, could trigger up to 2 times per turn. Again, I don't know how much she's going to actually be doing the destroying of targets. I don't know if her burning terrain counts as well. So if the enemy is standing in that burning terrain and they die to it, I don't know if that counts. I hope it does. But again, I don't plan to have her as the actual destroying the target kind of character. Rocket launcher range +1 while the attack area remains the same. So there's some weird wording in translation in this game. That Cicero rocket I was talking about that had the passive on it that made it specifically said rocket launcher range +1, but it didn't actually extend the range. It was the AoE range. Well, this is saying the same thing, but then specifying that the area remains the same. Super inconsistent with the wording and translation. Maybe that's what it is, just a translation issue. But either way, it looks like this is just you can attack further, which is always nice. There's so many times with Cicero or whatever, or even Naomi, when she's not racked, where everything's just a single tile out of range. So again, having a little extra range is nice. When applying debuffs and terrain effects, duration +1. So those the burning terrain, and then what was it, bestowal that did the debuffs for whatever mech type you hit, those were all 2 turns. This would make them 3 turns, so that's actually really nice too. And then AP regen effect of unceasing thunderfire +1. What was this? Oh, right, this is her talent. So if you hit 3 or more, you gain 1 AP. Here, if you hit 3 or more, you gain 2 AP now. So that's actually really nice. So if I were to fully invest my superconductors, I would definitely go for the 16 here. I forget what the final cap is. I know you can go to 16 and then maybe 7. So that would probably would be what I do. As nice as this indiscriminate is, I don't think it's doable unless you give something up over on the Gamma 2 side. And I don't know, getting 2 AP back from hitting 3 things is pretty damn nice. I don't think I'd want to give that up. So yeah, just a quick rough guess is I'd probably go see here they have 16 and 7. I would flip that. I would flip that and go 7 up here, 16 down here. I think that's what I would do. Yeah, that's basically it for that. I won't get too much into the neural drive stuff. I think here I'm not going to get into this because I feel like this is a whole other video, but from what I've noticed, when you look at red chips are either flat attack or flat defense. So just pure damage, pure defense. When you look at yellow chips, it's more crit chance, crit damage, that kind of thing, or chance to hit. And then blues tend to be your more detailed defenses, like dodge or crit resist or just straight up crit resist, crit damage resist, that kind of thing, you know, the more like specified types of defense. So I look at her as a unit that's probably not going to get hit too much because she's going to sit in the back line. So I'm not going to care too much about defense, and I'm just going to go pure attack. I don't think she's going to need, she really doesn't need crit, in my opinion. She doesn't really need crit damage, that kind of thing. So I'd probably just focus pure attack with the reds. Probably hit, because you do still want your rockets to hit. Yeah, that would probably be my focus, and just kind of ignore anything defense related for the most part. But yeah, just a brief rundown on that. Maybe once I've used her a little bit and kind of built her out myself, we'll go a little more into detail in terms of what I'm personally using in terms of chips and stuff like that. So that's her. We won't do the pulls yet. We're going to come back to that. Let's go look at Malthus. So now this is the this is her mech. And this is the one. We're going to get into some stuff, but we'll start with just the basic here. Again, keep in mind this is rainbow, so you're not going to have this with 4 base parts. You're going to have the top one here, and then once you start upgrading it, then you start getting into the breaker stuff. So keep that in mind as we go through this. HP mod, kind of whatever, just more HP, whatever. But let's start with Thundercloud FCS. Now I'm going to assume most people are going to pull for this and are going to have all the parts, right? So we'll look at the bottom one here. When executing an AoE attack, which is convenient because that's what she does, for every 1 target hit, damage plus 6% before combat, stacks up to 5 times, lasts for 2 turns. That seems really nice right out of the gate. Okay, yeah. So that's I need to find out how stacks work. So let's say you build up to 5 stacks, right? And it lasts 2 turns. So let's say you hit 5 enemy units, right? Let's say they're all nice and clustered. You do a nice 3x3, you hit 5, you get that max stack, right? And it lasts for 2 turns. If you hit them again, does it refresh that stack and it's another 2 turns still? I'm not 100% sure on that, but either way, what is that? 30% damage at max stacks. That's pretty nice. And you get that right out of the gate. So pretty sweet. Now here's the big one, and where things are going to get a little tricky. So for those of you who don't know how these works, again, we're not going to, that's a whole other video, but when you get a base level mech, your torso and your legs are going to give you 1 point each of this secondary passive. When you upgrade your arms, I forget what, no, I don't want that. I can't really do it from here. Let's jump into here real quick, just to look at this. So when you upgrade your arms to the 3 gold chevrons, that is when you get your first point of that level 8 passive, right? So once you have your torso, your legs, and both your arms at 3-star chevrons, the torso and the legs just have to be base. The arms have to be 3 chevron. You're gonna have 4 points in this, right? From there, the only way to get to 8 is to rainbow everything, right? However, there is a way to, I guess, fake rainbow it. But it's probably not super viable for free to play because it is kind of expensive. So if you go into the border FTZ, we were talking about this in chat the other day. Breaker mod, which is Eileen's mod on Malthus, is in the store, and you can buy 4 copies of it, right? we were talking about whether or not to skip Gillis Reyes and buy these instead. There's a couple things with this. So again, you can have a base level torso and legs for Malthus, but you need to upgrade your arms to 3 chevrons. Now, I'm not going to get into all that, but you need those golden sockets on the arms as well, right? So if you do that, then you could socket 4 of these mods into each of your parts, and you could essentially get a fake rainbow version of Malthus and get that final thing. Because obviously with the level 8 passives, it's the final one, the 8th one, that gives you a little extra bonus here. So it gives you 18% AoE damage, which is nice. But if 3 or more targets are hit, inflicts movement inhibition on targets hit after combat, lasting for 2 turns. So 2 turns of them with -1 movement. So you do a big AoE fire thing, and now they're slow, and they're gonna be stuck in it longer, right? Plus the stuff we were talking about before, where she can increase the duration of these debuffs. So that would make 3 turns of -1 movement, which is, I'm dreading going into arena with a bunch of AI Eileens everywhere, just raining fire. I can't. I was looking forward to her in arena, to have her on my team in arena, and then the thought of multiple Eileens is terrifying. But yeah, you could fake rainbow it. I don't think it's viable, because then if you ever do rainbow it, once we get Malthus added to the dispatch missions, you can try and get more copies through that to upgrade to rainbow. Once you do that, then you're just gonna have these breaker mods just kind of sitting around, and it might not be a good investment. It's probably better to go after the mech if you're a free-to-play player, but I'm gonna leave that up to you guys. I don't know the right answer there. I'm probably just gonna go for Gillis Reyes. I don't know. I'll have to see. But yeah, that's basically it with Malthus. I am 100% gonna try and get at least 1 copy. I might go, there's some other tricky stuff where you pull to 100, you pull to pity, then pull 110, and you can get random parts along the way, which essentially could give you 2 full versions of Malthus, and then it leaves you 10 pity away. So then when the next mech that you're pulling for comes, you're right there. I'm not gonna get into it. It's a whole thing. But yeah, I'm gonna try and get 1 copy of each of them, start there, and then figure it out. So we're gonna do that right now. We'll get into the pulls here, but that's basically it for my first thoughts on her and her mech. Obviously, until I use her, I'm not gonna have any further opinion on her really, but I've been really excited for her. I can't wait to actually start using her, because she's just gonna fill a role on my team, and then some with the whole burning terrain and stuff. She's just gonna fit a great role on my team, and hopefully, again, when Sylvie is not missing her 90% shots, this is gonna really help her. So let's get pulling. Now, I'm not a very lucky person, so wait, what?
Lieutenant Caitlin Evans at
Why are
your
we?
service.
We already had this. Why are you warning me? Don't you dare.
What's with the look? Something on my face?
This guy needs to stop talking. Don't you dare shut down the servers on me.
Hey, shoot!
While I'm in the middle of pulling. I didn't even see because I was reading that, but I don't think we got her yet.
I am Lily Stan.
That's a gross pull. That is. I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. We go again. We go again.
Hello.
Gross.
I am Lily
We're
Stan.
basically going until we get a copy of each. I'm not gonna do, again, I might do more pulls after, but we're not gonna spend the next 30 minutes of this video pulling. Okay, gross. Get me out of here. Next. This is why I saved so much. A bunch of Ciceros, great. We got 2 copies of Wish.com Eileen. That's a tease.
1 silver flag.
Gummy bear. Oh.
Can you have?
Oh. Oh, that's disgusting. Now, I don't know how that works because I was at 11, right? I didn't technically go to pity? I don't know. We keep going. We keep going. Gross. Gross. I guess I shouldn't skip. I should wait and... No. Oh, that's a lot of purples, but gross. Lucia. They're giving me all the tacticians that I don't want. Next. Gross. Oh man, we're getting into the gems now. Our pull luck is not where I want it to be right now. Gross. I don't know if I want to go over here, so I think I'm gonna do 10 pulls guarantee you A ranks, right? I'm just gonna do a 10.
Chloe Schmidt here.
So this has gotta be her, right?
I am Eileen.
There she is.
Inspector for Obsidian's.
Eileen, where the hell were you? Why are you making? Stop talking. Why?
Our collaboration.
Why did you make me spend so many gems? All right, there we go. We got there. We got there. So, because it took me so long, I don't think I'm gonna do any more pulls with her. I don't know. We'll see. We're gonna get into it after in another video when I talk about the hunter whatever event, because you do get an ace pilot tactician thing. I might use that on her, but we'll see. We'll see. We shall see. All right, now we got to get her mech here. 9 more 10 times pulls. I gotta make sure we're on the right one, right? Malthus, yes. I don't want to be pulling for the wrong thing. Now, I don't know what to expect here. I'm not a very lucky person to begin with. Bunch of nasty shit. Purple, gross. Get me out of here. Next. Start with the little guys. Bunch of gross, 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 gross. Yuck. Gross. Whole bunch of gross. Next. God, I hate gacha games. This is also why I don't spend money on these games, and also why I don't gamble in real life. My luck is not cut out for that kind of thing. Gross. Get your damn maintenance out of here. We already had it. Bunch of garbage, all the garbage. Oh my god. Next. I very much expect to go to pity all the time. Anytime I do pulls, I expect to go to pity. Oh, what do we got? Oh, I clicked away from it. We got something. What is it? A blue bird arm. You can get the hell out of here. Gross. 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 Next. Gross. Shocking. We're going to pity. Shocking. God, gacha games are so garbage. I'm not even excited. I'm not even hurry up. Get this other garbage out of the way. There you go. There you go. We got it. Gross. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Anyway, that's that. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. I don't know if I'm gonna do more pulls. Having to go to pity on both of them kind of sucks ass, but it's what I expected, and that's why I saved so much. So back to saving for the next pity pulls. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next one.